The King with the Badly Made Coat. One day, when Arthur and his knights were at the round table, a young man entered. He was so big that the knights thought that he was a giant. When the boy came closer to them, the king and the knights saw that he had on a coat, which was too large for him. It was a rich coat, but it was old and dirty. "My lord, my name is Brune. I can tell you no more than that. I ask you to make me a knight," said the young boy. At this, Sir Kay laughed and said, "He must be called the King with the Badly Made Coat." "Call me as you like," said the young man. "Yes, I'll take that name, but I will not tell you my real one." Then Arthur spoke to him in a kind voice. "Young man, you ask a great thing. I must know where you come from and who your father is." "My lord," said the young man, "I can't tell you that, but I am the son of a noble who was as big as a giant. My good father was very peaceful and didn't like fighting. That's why he never came to your court, and you did not hear of him. He lived at home with my mother and me and the servants in our castle. He had only one enemy who wanted our lands. One morning, when I was only a boy, my father and I were in the forest. My father was sleeping near the tree, and I was swimming in a small river. This enemy came up and killed my father with his sword. Then he rode away. I ran up to my dead father and took off his coat and put it on. I promised never to take it off, and never to tell my father's name or where I came from. I promised to kill my father's enemy. Then I rode home. There, I found the enemy in our castle. I was a young boy at that time, so I decided to wait for some years. I lived in the forest and practiced a lot. Once a month, I tried to pull up a young tree by the roots. I wanted to be strong. This morning I have done it, and here, my lords, I am." When the knights heard the story, they asked the king to make the young man a knight. "I will teach him to use a sword and a lancer," said one knight. A few days later, all the knights went off to a tournament. Brune was in the castle yard practicing some of the sword lessons. While he was hard at work, Queen Guinevere with 12 soldiers came up to him. When they were talking, they heard a terrible noise. Then they saw a big lion. Some minutes before, the animal escaped from the tower. It was running towards them. The 12 soldiers ran away and left the queen and Brune alone. Brune didn't move. He put his sword down. The lion jumped at Brune. He caught its head in his hands. The next moment, he broke the lion's neck. At this moment, the king and his knights came back. They saw a dead lion and understood everything. King Arthur came up to Brune, touched his shoulder with his sword, and said, "Sir Brune, I make you a knight of my round table."